Hey you guys, what's up? In today's video, I'm going to be doing a highlighter collection declutter. This is going to be all of my single highlighters. I think we're going to be doing face palettes next, so make sure to stay tuned for that. So I hope you guys are all excited about today's video. If you are, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So as I said, today's video is going to be a highlighter declutter. Obviously, these are all of my individual highlighters, so let's go ahead and get started. First up, we have a loose highlighter here from Artist Couture, and this is in the shade Purple Dream. I'm pretty sure I got this in like a BoxyCharm or something, and this is just a loose highlighter. I don't even think that I've ever used it. Maybe if I did use it, I used it like one time, but it is a really pretty shade, but I just never find myself using highlighters like this, so I am going to go ahead and declutter this one. I also have another Artist Couture highlighter, and this is the Diamond Glow Powder. Ooh, wow. Okay, this one is a more wearable shade. It is a really pretty gold. I think for now, I am going to go ahead and keep this one. Oh my gosh, I just made a mess everywhere, but yeah, this one is a really pretty shade, so I am gonna go ahead and keep this one. Next up, I have this liquid highlighter here from Deck of Scarlet. This is in the shade Copper. It is super pretty. It is just a little bit deep for my skin tone, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one, but I do think this is a really pretty liquid highlighter, but it's just a little bit too dark for me. Next up, we have this e.l.f. highlighter. This is the baked highlighter in the shade Moonlight Pearl, and I love this highlighter. It's not like the most blinding highlighter, but it is a really pretty, like, natural type of highlighter. It is baked, so it's not, like, so bright and blinding, but I really enjoy this, and I'm pretty sure it was only, like, $3, so I am definitely going to be keeping this one. Then I have 3 shades of this CoverGirl Clean Fresh Illuminator, and these are like stick highlighters. I'm not even sure if I've used these. Let's see. There is the gold shade that does look a little bit deep for my skin tone. And then we have transparent, which is like so weird. These literally look like glue sticks. All right, not a fan of that. I don't think I've used that one before. And then we have Opal Dreams, which is like a pink shade. I don't know, these just don't look that great to me. I'm gonna go ahead and put these in a maybe pile because I have no idea what I wanna do with these. They do feel very cooling on the hand, but I'm not sure if this is a product that I could see myself using. Next up, we have Benefit High Beam. Okay, I already have like stuff all over my hands. Oh my goodness. This is another liquid highlighter. This one is not like the most blinding, so I don't know, it's not like my favorite highlighter. It is pretty and I do enjoy it, so I am gonna go ahead and keep this. It's not my favorite liquid highlighter, but I do think it is pretty. So I have 4 powder highlighters here from Soul Body. The first one is this one, the shade Pink Truffle from the Valentine's collection. Mine did come broken, unfortunately, and this one is such a pretty shade, so I was like pretty sad whenever I got it and it was broken. It's just such a pretty pink highlight shade, and I'm not like super big into pink highlights, but this one is stunning. I am going to go ahead and keep this one because I do really like this shade. Next, we have the shade Platinum, which is one of my favorite Soul Body highlighters. Okay, why are all of my highlighters broken? This one is like the perfect kind of like white gold champagne type shade, and these are just like so buttery and soft and like super pigmented. I love this shade. It's perfect for fair skin, so I'm definitely going to be keeping this one. Next, we have the shade called Rosé, and this one is also like a pinky type shade. This one is just a little bit darker. I can only wear this when I'm self-tanned. I do really like all of my Soul highlighters, so I think for now I am going to go ahead and keep this, even though it is a little bit dark. This is one that I could see myself getting rid of in the future, but it's just so pretty, so I just can't see myself getting rid of it right now. Then we have the Barbie in ColourPop highlighter. I don't know why I included this with a Soul Body one, so whatever. This is a ColourPop highlighter technically, and this one is just such a pretty shade. Like, look how gorgeous this is. It's a really nice gold shade. These have amazing pigmentation. So yeah, I am going to be keeping this one as well. Next up, we have these Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops, and these are in the shade Celestial. I'm pretty sure I bought these like years ago because Nikki Tutorials was like raving about them, and I just like literally never use these. Like, it looks like it would be really pretty, but I feel like once you just blend this out on the face, it doesn't look like this. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this. This was like super expensive and I literally never use it. I have 4 highlighters here from Wet n Wild. First up, we have the shade Blossom Glow, which is a really nice shade for fair skin. As you guys can see, it's not like the most like blinding and pigmented, but it is pretty good for a drugstore highlighter. I do really enjoy this one, so I am going to be keeping it. Now I'm going to swatch this Fantasy Makers highlighter next to that one. This is in the shade Halo Effect because I feel like this is pretty similar. Let's see which one is more blinding. Okay, wow, these look very similar actually. Now I'm kind of like wanting to change my mind because I feel like this one is a little bit more like blinding. I don't know, that's very hard. These are very similar. Now that I have these swatched side by side, I actually think I'm gonna go ahead and declutter the Blossom Glow highlighter and keep the Fantasy Makers one. Then I have the shade Precious Petals, which is like, I don't know how to describe this shade. It's kind of like a, not like a rose gold, like a coppery gold type shade. This one is a little bit too deep for my skin tone. Now we're gonna swatch the Fantasy Makers one in the shade Illuminati next to it, and we'll see if these two are similar or not. So these are actually pretty similar as well. Ooh, that's hard. Once again, I think I'm gonna keep the Fantasy Makers one because these are newer to my collection. And then I think I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this one. Next up, I have this highlighter here from the brand Gadi, and I don't even know if this brand is like even around anymore. Oh, this is actually like a face palette. Oh well, we're gonna keep it with the highlighters. Why did I include this one? I'm gonna go ahead and keep it in this declutter video. So it does have this highlighter down here that is really pretty. I literally never use this. I'm not sure if this top shade is like a bronzer or what it is, but I think I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Okay, so it's a blush and shimmer duo. This should have been in my face palette declutters, but I accidentally grabbed it, but I'm going to go ahead and declutter it. Next up, I have this highlighter from Milani. This is the Strobe Light highlighter. Man, this was like my favorite drugstore highlighter. I haven't used it in such a long time. It's such a pretty shade. This is like one of my old favorites, so I am definitely going to be keeping this. I used to love this. Next up, we have my Anastasia Iced Out highlighter, and this is such a pretty highlighter. It's not like the most blinding and metallic highlighter. It's actually a little bit different of a shade than I was expecting. I have an entire review video on this highlighter if you guys want to check it out. I'll put it in the cards or something. This isn't like my favorite type of highlighter, like with how the gold is in it, but I just cannot see myself getting rid of this, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one. Next up, I have some highlighters here from Laura Mercier, and this first one is the shade Devotion. Like, look how cool these are. These are super expensive. This one is a stunning like pinky shade. These aren't like super blinding, but they are pretty on the skin. I am gonna go ahead and keep this one. Then the other one I have is like a baked highlighter. This looks so natural on the skin. Like, it almost doesn't look shimmery at all. Let me show you guys like side by side. You probably won't even be able to tell like on my hand right here, but when you put this on the face, it gives you that very like natural looking highlight that makes you look like you're like glowing from within. So I really enjoy this, so I am gonna keep this one as well. Then I also just got this brand new Laura Mercier highlighter in the shade Rose Glow. I have not even swatched it yet, so I'm going to show you guys a swatch on camera right now. So there is what it looks like. This does look like it might be a little deep for my skin tone for like a super blinding looking highlighter, but I definitely think I can make it work. The packaging of this is gorgeous and it literally just came out, so I am going to keep this one as well. Then I have this Benefit box highlighter. This is in the shade Dandelion Twinkle. I do like this highlighter. It's like not the most blinding. I don't know. It's just like okay. It's a very natural looking highlighter. I think for now I am going to go ahead and keep this, but I do also have another one that's brand new that I have not even like opened yet. So I'm going to keep one and then declutter the other one. Then I have this highlighter here from Pop Beauty in the shade Ultraviolet Light, and I don't even think that I've used this. Maybe I've only swatched it, but it is this pretty purple shade. This is just not like the most wearable shade, obviously, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Then I have this highlighter from Buxom in the shade White Russian, and I don't know, I'm not like the biggest fan of this highlighter either. I just feel like the shade is just, I don't know, it's just like okay. It's a little bit deep for my skin tone. It is pretty, but I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan of this formula of highlighters, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one as well. I just realized I had an extra Benefit High Beam sitting here, so I'm going to declutter this one since I already have one that I'm keeping. Then I have this like Milk Makeup Highlight Stick, I believe is what it is, in the shade Supernova. And this is also another highlighter that's just like not very wearable. I don't know, it's kind of like a purpley shade. I would wear this for like a Halloween look or something, but anything other than that, or maybe just like some kind of Instagram look, but I just don't see myself reaching for this, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one as well. Okay, I just realized I have another duplicate highlighter. This is the Candle Glow Sheer Perfecting Powder, which I already showed you guys, which was like the baked one, I believe. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one because I already have one of these. Next up, we have another Gadi product, and this one I believe is just a highlighter. Yeah, this one is a highlighter. This looks like it's really pretty. Ooh, I just like pushed that down. Like, it's a really pretty shade, but I don't know, I never reach for this. I feel like because I can only like get away with it when I'm self-tanned. So once again, another one that I'm going to declutter. Then I have a bunch of these highlighters from Ofra, which is a problematic brand now. I don't even know. I haven't really kept up with much of the drama, but I'm just so tired of having all these products and then brands or like people just mess up and then I like get rid of them. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one, which is Rodeo Drive, I believe is how you say it, which is a really pretty gold, but this is another type of highlighter I can only use when I'm self-tanned. So I just never reach for this, so I'm going to declutter this one. Then we have Glazed Donut, which was the Nikki Tutorials highlighter, which is like the perfect type of highlighter for fair skin. It's like a straight up like white highlighter. I'm going to go ahead and keep this for now. I think I'm going to start just like painting over the bad brands or products that I have. I saw someone doing that on Twitter and I thought it was such a good idea because we spend a lot of money on product and then we just have to like get rid of it when brands mess up. So then I also have Beverly Hills, which is one of my favorite highlighters. So I'm going to keep this one as well and maybe I'll just like paint something on the top. And then I also have an extra Beverly Hills highlighter. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Next up I have this Benefit What's Up highlighter. I don't even think that I've ever used this. That's actually a pretty shade. It also has, what is this? Okay, why have I never used this? It's like a little sponge. Okay, that's interesting. I guess I've never used this before. So I am gonna go ahead and keep this since it is brand new. I also have another like stick type highlighter here from Hourglass. This also looks pretty new. Maybe I've only swatched it. Let's check this shade out. This shade's not my favorite. What shade is this? It's Rose Gold Flash. I think I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. Then I have this highlighter like duo type thing from Galactic. These are both like cream products. I'm not like the biggest fan of these. Like they don't have the best pigmentation. They're not like super blinding or anything. So I am going to declutter this. Next I have 3 highlighters from Becca and I'm just going to straight up say that I don't see myself getting rid of these since they are like going out of business. So the first one I have is Prismatic Amethyst, which is a really pretty like kind of like purpley pink shade. Then I have the iconic Moonstone highlighter, which is more of like a champagne type gold. And then I also have Pearl, which is a white. So there are all 3 shades. I am going to keep these. I just can't see myself parting with these just yet. Then I have this CoverGirl highlighter in the shade Pearl Crush. And this is one of my favorite drugstore highlighters. Like it's pretty blinding whenever you put it on the face. It's such a pretty gold shade, so I'm going to keep this one. Then I have 2 highlighters here from e.l.f. and we have the shade Soul and Luna. The shade Soul, I don't remember really liking this shade. It's kind of like a pink shade. Like I just feel like it's not the best formula. I do remember liking the shade Luna. This one is a pretty interesting shade. Like it looks white, but there's like gold undertones in there. So I think I'm going to keep the shade Luna and then I'm going to declutter the other shade. Next up we have this Laura Geller highlighter in the shade Charming Pink. I got this so long ago and I used to love it. It's a really pretty light pink shade and I actually really like this, so I am going to go ahead and keep this one. Then I have this highlighter from ColourPop and you like can't even see the brand anymore, like the logo. This is the Stole the Show Super Shock Cheek. Man, this still feels very creamy, but I don't think the pigmentation is very good anymore. I mean, actually it's okay. It's not bad. This is one of my first ever ColourPop products, so I am going to go ahead and keep it because I love it. Then we have this iconic London Illuminator in the shade Original. And I don't think I've actually used this. Maybe I've used it like one time. I'm just not super big into products like this. So it is a pretty shade, but I think I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. And lastly, I have these 2 highlighters. And honestly, I think I'm just going to go ahead and keep these because I really like the highlighters themselves. And then as I said earlier, maybe I'll just like paint over like the logos and stuff so I can just keep the product, but not like, I don't know. I paid a lot of money for these. I like don't want to get rid of them really. But I do really like both of these, so I am going to keep them, but then once again, I think I'm going to try and paint over them or something. Alright, so here are all of the highlighters that I'm going to be decluttering. Hopefully you guys can see all of those. I did go ahead and throw in the 3 CoverGirl highlighters because I just don't see myself using those. So I did go ahead and declutter 22 highlighters. I feel like that's a pretty good amount. And I just went ahead and counted all of the ones that I'm keeping, and I think there were about 26 that I'm keeping. So I got rid of almost half of my highlighter collection, which is amazing because I don't use like any of these. So I'm pretty proud of myself for this declutter. So yeah, that is it for today's video. As I said, I think I'm going to do a face palette declutter next, and then let me know what you guys want to see after that. I can do like, I don't know, eyeliners, mascaras, or we can go ahead and jump into eyeshadow palettes, just let me know in the comments down below. So I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Also, make sure you guys turn your notifications on, that way you don't miss out on any of my future videos. All you have to do is click the bell next to the subscribe button, and then you'll receive a notification every time I upload a new video. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.